Hello, everyone. Welcome. So excited to be here with you guys again this week. I've been loving the questions that I'm getting in every single week that I decided to actually give this series a name. So, welcome to Your Promotability Factor, a weekly Q&A series with Stacy Mayer. Today's question is from Aaliyah, and it says, what's the best way to assimilate myself as a new boss without being threatening? So that's the question I'm going to be answering today. And my short answer is create a plan. So I'm going to show you in today's Facebook Live how you can actually create a plan for yourself. I'm going to pull up the comments here. If you have comments, questions, anything that you'd like to ask throughout this broadcast, please absolutely feel free. So, who am I? I am Stacy Mayer from Stacy Mayer Coaching, and I help corporate managers get promoted senior level executive positions. I am on a mission to bring more diversity to the executive table. And I work with some of the most amazing humans who work for some of the largest technology companies in North America. And today, with this weekly Q&A series, I am actually answering your direct questions. So if you have a question and you want me to answer it live in my weekly Q&A series, either just shoot me a direct message. I get those. I actually answer those directly. So that's the best way to connect with me. So the question this week is, how do I assimilate myself as a new boss without being threatening? And I received this question, and I told you my short answer is you develop a plan. So, and I mentioned that the question came from Aaliyah, but for privacy's sake, that's actually what I'm calling her. That's not her real name. So just so you guys know, if you do submit a question, even if it's personal, I won't use your real name in the conversation. So this is an absolutely fantastic question. And I think this is the first thing that I want to point out is that she's asking the question because one of her direct reports actually applied for the job. So that was also in the email that she sent me. And so you instantly think, oh, I don't want to be threatening because this person applied for the job and obviously didn't receive the job. So that person had clearly been with the company a little while and didn't receive the job. And now I am their boss. So I don't want to be threatening. I would like to offer to you guys that you should always, whenever you receive a new position, even if it's within your organization or at a new organization, that you always strive to not be threatening, especially in the first 90 days, right? This should actually be your number one goal whenever you start at a new job. So I worked with, as an executive coach with a client, and she was actually hired me because she had gotten herself into some trouble in her job. So she came in guns a-blazing, right? Like she was like, I know how to fix this team. I know how to solve all their problems, right? And so she came in and did too much change all at once. So she was threatening as a boss to the team. She was threatening to upper level leadership. And what happened at the end of the day is nobody changed, right? Because everybody was upset, right? Everybody was like a little bit on edge. So her direct reports were actually going above her head to the leadership team and actually having conversations with them about her leadership. These are all of the things that you do not want to have happen. So I beg you, whenever you start a new position or you start at a new company, especially in a leadership position, that you work really hard to not be threatening. Now, here's the deal. You want to create change, right? The organization hired you for a reason. So you want to actually come in with ideas, with initiatives. So what do we actually do during the first 90 days? Well, there's actually a really amazing book out on Amazon. You should totally check it out. It's called The First 90 Days. Read this book. It lays it out exactly for you, exactly what you should do in the first 90 days. But I want to share a quote with you from this book. So Michael Watkin wrote the book, and he says, joining a new company is akin to an organ transplant, and you're the new organ. If you're not thoughtful in adapting to the new situation, you could end up being attacked by the organizational immune system and rejected. This is exactly what happened to my client. She was being rejected by her organizational immune system. So that's a little scary. It's a little daunting, but notice that the solution to the problem is having a plan. You have to have a plan for your first 90 days. So I'm going to give you 3 things that you can actually start doing right away during those first 90 days. And if you have any questions, please, again, drop them in the comments, shoot me a direct message afterwards. I would love to hear from you. And I would also love to hear some of your advice, like what has been working for you in your first 90 days, and how are you able to assimilate yourself so that you, as an organ to the organization, you're actually assimilate well. So here is my first suggestion is assume people you are working for know what they're doing at first, right? So what do I mean by that? It means that you're having regular conversations with them. You're listening more than telling them about your opinions. When you're listening, you're asking deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper questions, right? You're understanding what their challenges actually are. I have an incredible client who is I guess she's a senior manager at her organization. She's actually been there for almost 18 years working for this company. And she recently shifted to a difficult team. So she had to shift her focus and she didn't want to take the job because she was like, this team really needs to be turned around. But luckily we were already coaching together. And so I was like, I'll help you through this. Right. And that is really what she had to do from the beginning, is have deeper level conversations with the team. And she realized that their previous boss and their previous boss before that had no accountability, right? So the reason that the team was so dysfunctional is they actually had really, really poor leadership. It had very little to do with the capabilities of the team. And so she needed to come in there and give them better leadership. And one of the ways that she was able to do that is through listening and asking better questions. And then after 30 days of being their boss, she was able to create a plan for them, right? A really direct plan, and show them the outcome. Like, if we work better in this way, we will become a better team. And now, even just, I think she's only been the leader of this team for less than 6 months, and she's already fully like turned it around. Like, the leadership team is noticing, the team itself is so excited to have her work for them. And now the only thing she has to be careful of is she wants to make herself replaceable, right? Like, you don't want to be the go-to, like they won't make any decisions without coming to you, right? That is never like the end goal, right? But she was able to get in there, get her feet wet, and really turn this team around in a way that they were able to listen to her and hear her and not feel threatened. They were excited to have her as their leader. So that's the first step, is really listen. Come in there and assume that they know what they're doing, right? That then it's possible they just had poor leadership in the past. So you want to ask a lot of really great questions, really make them feel involved in the process. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to focus on relationships with the executive team. So you want to make sure that you understand what the goals and expectations are for leading this team. So it's not just you coming in with solutions and solving all their problems. You want to understand and listen, and also ask questions, especially over the first 30 days with executives. If you can start building those relationships, that is huge. You talk about being able to scale yourself at an organization and quickly move up the ladder. And the manager, Aaliyah, who wrote into me and asked this question, the reason that she took this particular job is because she eventually wants to make it to CFO someday. So if you want to make it into a CFO position, build those relationships now. You have the best excuse in the first 30 days to open up the door and have those conversations. So get in there, ask leadership what their expectations are, what they think the problems are with this team, and really just get super, super curious. And then the third thing that you're going to do over the first 30 days is don't try and prove yourself. You already got the job. You don't have to prove to anybody that you're capable, that you're amazing, that you can turn this ship around, that you have all this incredible knowledge. Like, just do a good job. And the first thing in the first 30, 60, 90 days is relationships, right? That is doing a good job, creating a cadence of accountability with the team, right? Creating a plan to begin with and letting them be a part of that plan. So definitely go out and buy the book that I suggested. Create and craft out this plan to really listen, to gather information, to develop a cadence with your team, and you will seriously knock it out of the park. Not only will you not be threatening in the first 30 days as you begin to assimilate yourself as a leader of this team, but you will be successful, right? You will be setting yourself up for a future CFO position in the future. So get out there, do the work, create the plan, and knock it out of the park. Thank you so much for listening. I've got this live webinar going on right now, and I want to make sure you guys know about it. And it's called 4 Steps to Scale Yourself to the C-Suite. So if you are somebody that has this dream, this vision of becoming a CFO or a C something or another in the future, then I suggest you sign for my free live webinar. I've got another happening next month. Webinar, I give you all steps that you need to start doing now, today, as a leader, so that you can advance yourself into a senior executive position. Thank you so much for joining me. Please leave comments below, and I'll see you guys next week for another edition of the Promotability Factor, my weekly Q&A series. Take care. Bye.